hello, Sunny Bonani, beautiful people. Sunny Bonani. Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in our global village. Hello, and thank you for joining us. We say welcome, welcome, welcome to a breakfast show, Yantambama, the afternoon breakfast show, because it is breakfast time somewhere in the world, and it is ntambama somewhere else. So depending on where you are, please join us. Drop a flag. Let us know where you are joining us from and what time is it where you are. Let us know in the comment section. If it is your first time joining us, my name is Tenjiwe. I am a South African stand-up comedian, content creator, currently living in the United Kingdom. And thank you so much for joining us. If you are confused what's happening here, because I have two channels. One of my channels in my home language is Zulu, Tenjiwe Comedy, and the other channel is Tenjiwe Unplugged, which is my English channel. Please do join. And I'm going to be doing this live series for the rest of the month of August, because August is Women's Month in South Africa. It is a very important month for us in South Africa. It is when we celebrate the women who fought for our rights in 1956. A group of South African women marched to the Union buildings in Pretoria to fight against apartheid laws, to fight against past laws that required Black people, especially it was about to be introduced to Black women to have curfews and to always need a passbook and their employer's permission to walk in the cities. But we are not there for the history of South Africa. We are here for a breakfast show, Yantambama, your only evening breakfast show, your only afternoon breakfast show, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining us. And welcome to Career Thursday. On Thursday, we're going to be talking about careers. Let me know, what career are you doing right now? And what was your dream career? When you were in school, other children were saying, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a social worker, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a thief, otherwise known as politicians in many countries. What did you put your hand up and say you wanted to be? And did that come true? Are you doing that right now? Did you change your mind? What made you change your mind? Did you even understand what career you wanted to do? Or were you just inspired by careers, yes, that you saw around you and you didn't know anything else? And when you grew up, you changed. Why did you study the course you studied at university? Was it because it had the shortest line? When you look at the other queues, you were like, too long, short, let me join this one. Was it the only course that was still accepting people? Why? Why did you do? I know so many people who don't even know why they studied what they studied. I know so many people who studied what they studied because their mama fell pregnant while they were studying it and couldn't finish. So they were like, you are going to finish that education that I started and could not finish. My name is Diploma. That's my English name because my mother had me when she was at college. So instead of coming back home with a diploma, she came back with me. For you, what was the career? Welcome to Career Thursday. Welcome to Career Thursday. We're going to be talking about jobs. We're going to be talking about careers. We're going to be talking about workplaces, professional development, difficult bosses, interviews, promotions, salaries, confidence, and occasionally how to sit in a Teams meeting looking interested when you have absolutely no idea what Brenda in finance is talking about. How to not show that you really think this meeting we're having right now should have just been a WhatsApp message. And tonight, we're going to be talking about something that a lot of us, especially a lot of people who come from a background similar to mine, suffer from. And sometimes we're not even aware, because careers are serious, guys. Careers are serious. But some of these things happening in these offices are not serious at all. Well, I can feel my voice is cracking. Guys, I work with my voice, so I really do overuse my voice. If there's one body part that I abuse, it is my voice. If I were to be asked to apologize to one body part, it would be my voice. What body part would you apologize to? What body part do you think you overuse, especially due to your career? For me, it is definitely my voice. So today, Career Thursday, let's talk about something that affects people from the first day of work all the way to the boardroom. Something that still affects me, even though I'm very confident. I'm a confident person. I'm a risk taker, but imposter syndrome, or as I prefer to call it, who let me in? Who let me in here? Ever had that thought? That feeling when you walk into a meeting and everybody looks intelligent? Laptops open, documents everywhere. You look around and there's someone saying things like, according to the projections from the third quarter. And you're like, Jesus, I hope nobody asks me anything. What am I doing here? How did I get here? Ever been in those meetings where people are discussing money that you know that nobody in your whole bloodline, even if you were to take everyone in your bloodline, put them together, their life earnings can never equal this amount that you are now discussing. And you're like, who am I? Do I even belong here? What am I doing here? Why am I even here? We're talking about why intelligent, capable people sometimes feel like frauds. Why success doesn't always make that feeling disappear. And most importantly, what you can actually do about it. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your whatever makes you feel good right now. I need my water. Where's my water? I didn't bring my water. I can't be bothered to get up. It is so hot, guys, in England. It is very hot. We are experiencing a heat wave, so it is very hot. So do excuse me if I start sweating. It's the heat, and I can't have the heater on right now because it will make a lot of noise, and I don't have an aircon. So I'm in a very hot room right now. I was even supposed to go out tonight with my friends, and then we just looked at how hot it is. We were like, let's do it tomorrow. Let's just do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. I know it's Pools Thursday, Cocktail Thursday, but tomorrow can be a Thursday if we want to make it a Thursday. Why do intelligent people who are capable sometimes feel like they are frauds? Why? Do you suffer from imposter syndrome? Do you ever look at what you have achieved or walk into a meeting and think, not me? Do you ever receive a job acceptance letter and think, no way, maybe it's the wrong letter. Maybe they meant to write it for someone else. Maybe this job offer is not for me. Have you ever received a promotion and did not think that you were worthy? have you? Think about it. Think about it. Who let me in here? Imposter syndrome is that persistent feeling that makes you think you don't qualify. It happens to me a lot as a stand-up comedian, where I feel like, even though I know I'm funny, I'm good, I do my job on stage and I love what I do, but sometimes you're like, me headlining when I'm performing with these comedians, and you feel like maybe you're not capable, but you are. You feel like you're not as capable as other people. You know you've achieved something, you got the job, you've passed the interview, you've got the degree, you received the promotion, you graduated, you know, you were there, you got your first class degree. They invited you to the room, you didn't just barge in. But instead of thinking, I earned this, your brain just whispers to you, oh, these people have made a terrible administrative mistake. What am I doing here? The person who taught me about imposter syndrome told me it was a poverty mentality of not thinking you believe, you belong in good rooms. The mentality of thinking this too shall end. Just like you used to have a full fridge at the end of the month in your mama's house, but you knew after 2 weeks the fridge will be empty. So you think of your own success the same way. You feel like they're going to say, stop everything. We've checked the documents. She does not belong here. How did she get here? And you'll be the first one to say, I knew it. I knew I didn't belong here. And the thing is, you can have evidence that you are capable, but still feel that you are not capable. Feel that you are incapable, even though you have all the evidence, you have all the academic evidence, you have all the experience, you have the qualifications, you have the results. People trust you. You were headhunted, and your brain still says, yes, but they don't really know us. Remember your first day at that new job? Everyone's walking around confidently. You don't even know where the toilet is. And someone says, can you just upload this onto the shared document drive? And you start panicking. You start panicking because you just don't feel like you really truly belong here. You are scared to even ask questions because everybody else appears to know everything. You spend like your first day wanting to assist other people because your brain is telling you you're here to assist these people who know when you don't know. Imposter syndrome happens to us. Some of us get to a point where we are earning good money, but we are still scared because we look at your bank balance, you look at your payslip, you still feel like this is not mine. You are scared to apply for that mortgage, to get a bond to buy that house. You are scared to move to that neighborhood because you still feel like, what if this ends tomorrow? What if the house gets repossessed? You keep staying and not improving your life. You are scared. You've worked hard. You work hard. You belong where you are. But for some reason, you keep thinking, I do not belong here. And one thing we must always know is that everyone starts somewhere. So starting in a new workplace and not knowing everything doesn't mean you are incompetent. It just means you are new. There's a difference. Being you and being incompetent, being incompetent. Two different things. Sometimes your accent will make you feel like, especially us who live in other countries, in other places. You're gonna show on camera, you know. And that was my son. You're like, I don't know much. Of course, you're not supposed to know much. You just started. You have just started. Why? How are you going to know? Everyone starts somewhere. And every organization has its own language. Every organization I've worked for, I've had to learn a new language. They have their own systems. They have their own acronyms. They have their own politics. And they always have that one person who's been there since 1994 who knows absolutely everything. And just because you don't know what's the meaning of PA in one company or one organization is totally different from the meaning of PA in another organization. Don't compare your first week with their 10th year, because that's what we tend to do. Compare our chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 17. Of course, someone who's been here for 10 years, for 5 years, for 5 months, for 3 months will know a little more than you. If they don't, then there's something wrong with them. Of course, someone who speaks English at home as their first language is going to sound different from you. My first language is Zulu. There are so many Zulu people from different parts of South Africa. I've not even left South Africa, just different parts of South Africa. Let me not even say South Africa. They're just different parts of KwaZulu, the province I come from, who don't sound like me when we speak isiZulu. Now, why should I expect to sound like a man from Manchester when people who speak my home language, who grew up in my home province, they don't sound the same? We don't use the same dialect. We don't use the same words. We don't. So sometimes it's not that you don't belong or you don't know, just that you are new. You're different. You're going to learn. You're going to learn. Why do we always believe people who tell us negative things about ourselves, who tell us we don't belong, who tell us we won't make it, instead of believing the positive thoughts? Why are we always entertaining the negative feelings over the positive feelings? Must be nice to be a young man. Must be nice to be a young man. I wish I was sitting here topless myself. I wish I was sitting here topless, because it is hot. So what I mean is, you can be highly experienced, but suddenly feel like a beginner just because you are in a new environment. Somebody may use an expression you've never heard. Somebody's accent may be too hard for you to understand. You may need to ask them to repeat themselves. Everyone may laugh at you. Laugh with them. Laugh. Laugh too. Because sometimes you don't even know why they're laughing. Google it. If you something you don't know, it doesn't mean you are incompetent. Google it, you'll find out. There are so many terms you're going to learn as you enter new spaces. Even when you enter a new group of friendships, you learn new terms. You learn to laugh at new jokes. because they are inside jokes. They are acronyms they use. There are so many things that are different. And accents are the big thing because it is usually people, especially when it comes to English, a lot of people like to judge people, especially judge us who don't speak English as a first language on our accent. And for me, like, English is my 12th language. I'm not planning to sound like who I am not. My accent makes me sound like me. And if you can't hear what I'm saying, I'm very happy to repeat it. But it doesn't mean I am less capable, I am less smarter just because I sound different from you. My accent is a sign that I speak another language. Even American and British English is not the same. British English is not even the same. Scotland English, you go to Ireland, they sound different. Even within the UK, you go to London, they sound different from people in Liverpool. And now you're going to walk into a professional room and suddenly you become hyper aware of how you sound. You start editing yourself. You start wanting to impress people with a language that's not even yours. You start wanting to sound like the queen or the king. You start wanting to speak like you are some Oxford dictionary. Should I say this? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Do I sound professional? And what I dislike the most is, especially here in the diaspora, there is always other Black people trying to correct another Black person. It's always Black people. White English people who only speak English don't have a problem. They'll understand what you are saying. It's going to be Black people who are trying to make you feel small for sounding different. And now you start thinking just because you don't sound like other people means you are not being professional. You are. You don't have to sound like other people to sound professional. Professionalism does not have one accent. Intelligence doesn't have one sentence. I mean, one accent. Being intelligent doesn't mean we all have to have one accent. Competence does not have one postcode. You don't need to erase where you are from in order to demonstrate that you know what you are doing or what you are talking about. Coming from where you come from is part of who you are. It's part of your story. It's part of your history. It makes you even better. It makes you unique. We need to have these uncomfortable conversations. Because especially as Black people, we have so much that we need to unlearn. Mostly from our past that made us think we were not enough, that made us think we didn't belong, that made us think we were not competent. And some people want to carry it and put it on you. Because sometimes it's not imposter syndrome. Sometimes you genuinely don't know what you are doing. And that's okay too. It's okay not to know what you're doing. You learn. We need to distinguish these two things because they're different. There's I know this, but I don't trust myself. And there's actually nobody who has ever taught me this. And everyone has to learn at some point. You need to ask, you need to train, you need to read, you need to practice, you need to find somebody experienced that can share the knowledge with you, that can educate you. Don't use imposter syndrome to avoid improving yourself. Imagine a surgeon telling you, oh, I'm experiencing imposter syndrome. So it's because you've never been to medical school. There's no imposter syndrome. There is not imposter syndrome. If I woke up tomorrow and said, I'm sorry, I can't be a dentist because I have imposter syndrome, that's not imposter syndrome, that's trespassing. Get out of the hospital. What are you doing here? So ask yourself honestly, do I lack confidence or do I lack competence in this specific area? Do I lack competence or do I lack confidence in this specific area? I get it even with comedians. There are such great comedians. Okay, there are comedians who perform only in their home language. Even though they speak very good command of English, they are educated, they will tell you, I can never perform in a language that is not my mother's tongue. I know so many comedians from South Africa who only either perform in Sesotho, in isiZulu, in isiXhosa, and they won't touch another language. They can have a full conversation in English, and even if you tell them how funny they are in English, they will tell you, I will never pick up the mic and speak English on stage. If you ask them, let's go to this country, I can never go to another country. I'm happy here. They are happy where they are, and some of them become really successful just where they are, and they're happy with that. They have no interest, they have no intention. And some of them, it is imposter syndrome. They are scared. Some of them, maybe they are carrying a wound from when they were young, when they tried to speak English and they became the joke. People laughed at them. Some of them were even bullied by their teachers in school. So they would just want to do it in a comfortable language that they know people won't laugh at them if they pronounce anything wrong or they misgender anyone or whatever. So there are so many comedians who do have proper, like, who are scared to perform in English. You can tell them there is a gig in the UK that will pay you 100,000 UK pounds. They'll tell you, I will never perform in English. There are comedians who only perform for their fans. You can tell them, let's go and perform. No, they don't want to perform for people who do not know them. They want their comfort zones. They will never just go and perform for a bunch of strangers. They won't even do clubs. They just do their big shows. Especially now with the boom of people not doing comedy in the traditional route of going to clubs, doing open mics until you get to the paid spots, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes people become famous on social media, and before they even go on stage for the first time, they already have a big following. They're already selling out shows. Those people tend to be scared to go and do open mics and perform for people who do not know them. Instead of selling their funny, they tend to sell their personality because they want people to come for them. Sometimes it's lack of skills. And then we like to use it as imposter syndrome. Then there are comedians, English comedians. This is something I found out here in the UK. There are Black comedians who only perform for Black audiences, who only perform in Black areas, who only perform. There are Caribbean comedians who only perform for the Caribbean audience. They will never go to an African audience. So if you, because it might not make sense, but there's white comedy, which tends to be called the mainstream. There's Black British comedy. There's Caribbean comedy. There's African comedy. There are African comedians. You can see them flying first class. You're like, oh, they've made it. They're international. They come here. They will only perform in an area where Nigerians live, perform for a Nigerian audience. They would never even try to perform for people from other countries. You can tell them, let's go do this club. They will never. Then there are comedians who will never perform for a mainly white club. And then there are comedians like myself. I perform for everyone. Unless it's like I can't perform in French. I cannot go and say I'm going to perform in Swahili. I can't perform in languages I do not know. But I perform in English. I will perform for anyone. But there are countries I prefer not to go to. But generally, I perform anyway, everywhere, for anyone. But some people cannot do that. So the question is, honestly, sometimes we don't know. Is it because they lack confidence? Or is it because they lack competence? Is it competence? Because incompetence can disguise itself as imposter syndrome. Be careful not to confuse the two. If it's incompetence, beautiful, because competence can be built. You learn, you start, you rehearse, you write for a specific audience, you go and watch how people deliver to that audience. You go and learn that skill. You Google that word. You take a course. There are courses that you can do to study, to learn the new skill. You ask the question. You practice the skill. Incompetence can be cured. And stop saying, I was just lucky. I've never liked it when people say my achievement is luck. Because it used to, even when I was in school, I would come back so excited. I'm the top 3. And some of my aunts would just say, oh, you're so lucky. Teachers love you. No, I worked hard. I studied. How about that? How about that? Just because I did better than your kid or I did better than you doesn't mean I'm lucky. How about I take better risks? What about I stay up and study? How about I do my homework? How about I'm not chasing boys? How about I'm opening books while your kids are opening other things? How about that? That is not luck. And then sometimes we grew up with that thing of believing things are happening for us because we are lucky. You know what luck is? Luck is having the president of your country coming to your house, waking you up when you are sleeping at 11 a.m. and telling you, please come and be the cabinet minister. And you tell them, I know nothing about politics, and they double the offer of the salary. That luck. But going to school, applying for a job, learning the skill, and then when you get a job and we say it's luck, that's not luck. And another habit we have is you accomplish something and immediately explain it away. Why are you explaining to people like you were lucky? Oh, I was just lucky. They probably didn't have many applicants. I just happened to be there. Right place at the right time. Excuse me? You prepared. You applied. You studied. You interviewed. You delivered. Luck may open a door occasionally, but luck cannot repeatedly do your job for you. Luck is winning the lottery without playing it. But if you took your money, other people took their money and went and bought wine, bought champagne, bought beer. You took your money and you bought a lottery ticket. And then you're going to say, oh, I was just lucky. Yes, luck can be part of it, but don't discredit yourself. Luck cannot repeatedly do your job for you. If you've been successfully doing the job for 3 years, at some point we must stop saying it's luck. Stop it. Even luck is exhausted. Give yourself some credit. There's a difference between being arrogant and acknowledging your ability. Big difference. You can say, I worked hard for this. There's nothing wrong in saying that. You can say that without saying, I'm better than everybody. Humility doesn't require pretending you are useless. Well, what I've started doing is I've got a call of confidence file. You can do this too. Have a call of confidence file. Have it on your phone or on your computer, your notebook. Just keep the evidence, keep evidence. Keep evidence of positive feedback, things you've achieved, projects you've completed, things you've invested in, your qualifications, your thank you messages that you receive, good performance reviews, the problems you have solved, times you were frightened, but you did it anyway. Because when imposter syndrome arrives, when the feeling of imposter syndrome starts attacking you, you say, I can do this. I have done this. Actually, I've done this before. Don't depend on memory, because our brains are very interesting. You can receive 50 compliments, but one criticism is the one you will remember. You will remember it at 3 or 4 in the morning. Write down the compliments. You can deliver a perfect presentation and someone will say, presentation was slightly long. Someone recently came to my show. Fortunately, this is someone I already know is just so negative. I call her Negative Nancy. And the show was lovely. People were laughing throughout. And everyone was saying, like, nice comments, nice reviews, how they loved the show, taking photos afterwards. Guess what she said? You should only perform in Zulu. You are funny in Zulu. Luckily, I've developed my mechanism for my defense. I was like, to people who understand English, they love me performing in English as well. As you saw, they were laughing. Because people would say things just to discredit what you do. And those things can actually damage you. Now you're sitting at 2:17 in the morning, you are awake, you are thinking of that one negative comment. Meanwhile, 149 people said it was excellent. But you are thinking of that one person, even on social media. With me, I've just developed that attitude of not everyone was raised in a good home. Because why would you go on social media, watch my whole video, only for you to have something negative to say? What do you expect me to argue with you? I misbehave professionally. I get paid. And you think, Jay, when are you going to have a free argument with me? I left law where I was paid handsomely for arguing. And you think you're going to get a free argument from me? No. Don't drag with me into your dark negative hole. Me, I'm just going to thank you for watching. And by the way, if you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe. Subscription is free. Mahala. Another major cause of professional insecurity is comparison. You see your colleague doing things a certain way, suddenly you want to change the way you do yours. You see them presenting confidently. You think, look at them. They're naturally confident. How do you know that? You saw the presentation. You see a comedian being funny, getting a standing ovation. Maybe they've been saying the same jokes for the past 45 years. Maybe they have a team of writers. Maybe, yes, they are funny. Just do your job. Learn from other people. Of course, learn from other people. Ask for help when you need help. Of course. But don't compare yourself. Please. Don't compare yourself. We like to compare our internal anxiety with somebody else's external performance. And that is unfair. You know all your mistakes. You don't know theirs. You know all your doubts. You know every area where you are still learning. You don't have access to theirs. Stop comparing your backstage with somebody else's front stage. In Africa, we say confidence is like a baobab tree. No one individual can embrace it. I love my African proverbs because they teach us so much. It means nobody knows everything. Not your manager, not your CEO, not the person who taught you how to do the job, not the person with 17 qualifications on LinkedIn, not the motivational speaker telling you to wake up at 4 a.m., not the motivational speaker who tells you they started with 1 grain of rice and now they have a rice factory. Nobody knows it all. We learn from one another. That's why asking questions is not proof that you do not belong. Sometimes asking the right question is proof that you do belong. You do want to learn. You do want to know. You do want to improve. You don't have to embrace the whole baobab tree. You bring your arms. I bring mine. Somebody else brings theirs. Together, you can understand more. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. Together, we understand more. And that's what healthy relationships, healthy workplaces should look like. Everyone plays their important role. And stop thinking you do not belong, because I'm telling you, you belong. You belong. Stop allowing imposter syndrome to tell you you are lucky. You are not lucky. You worked hard. You studied hard. You invested hard. You took the risk. You worked on it. So my message from this video on this Career Thursday, we breakfast show, Yantambama. Let me play breakfast show, Yantambama. I like the name of this show, and I like the theme of the show. A breakfast show, Yantambama. Breakfast show, Yantambama. Breakfast show, Yantambama. So here is your career challenge for this Thursday. Stop apologizing. Stop apologizing before you speak. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Some people even say, sorry, good morning. Oh, very sorry. Stop apologizing before you speak. You can say what you need to say without apologizing. Don't begin every continuation, every contribution, every sentence with sorry. Did my speech stupid? But no, it's not stupid. Just be confident and say, I'd like to suggest ABC. Have confidence. Say, I'd like to suggest something. Then speak. Number 2, ask the questions. Ask the questions. If you don't understand something, ask. Confusion does not become intelligence. Just because you remained silent doesn't mean your confusion will suddenly become intelligence. Number 3, keep evidence of your achievements. Start your confidence file today. I promise you, it will help you a lot. Number 4, apply before you feel 100% ready. You don't need to tick every imaginary box before becoming a thing, before trying. Let the employer decide whether you are suitable or not. Stop rejecting yourself on their behalf and stop believing the naysayers. Stop letting other people live their imposter syndrome through you. Stop. Like I've got people who still ask me today, so when you perform in other countries, do you perform in Zulu? Do you know English? Just because you've never heard me speak English doesn't mean I don't speak English. What makes you what makes you think I will leave my whole country, go and live in an English speaking country only to perform in Zulu? Just because you personally would not be confident to perform in English doesn't mean I'm also not confident. Doesn't mean I'm not learning every day. Sometimes I watch myself and wish I had said this a different way. Sometimes in my mind, I'm thinking it a different way. It comes out a different way. But guess what? That happens in my home language as well. That happens in Zulu as well. That's why it's nice to record yourself, watch yourself, improve your jokes, improve what you need to say. That happens. Performing comedy is like, you know, when you have that argument that you have with yourself in the shower, where you're like, when they say this, I will say this. When they say this, I will say this. And then you have that real argument, and they don't say things the way you had practiced. And now you have to improvise. And then you go home and you're, if when they said this, I should have said that. If when they said that, I should have said that. And life is exactly like that. It's not always going to be perfect. Number 5, replace I don't belong here with I am learning how to belong here. Because sometimes confidence simply means staying in a room long enough to realize everybody else is figuring things out. People are also figuring things out. So don't allow imposter syndrome to ruin your life, to take away your confidence. But at the same time, do not confuse it with incompetent. Some of you are incompetent. There is no imposter syndrome. Always improve yourselves. Learn new skills. Learn to do social media. Learn by mistakes. And you know your biggest social media people that you love so much. Go and watch their first video. They started somewhere. And because they stayed consistent, they kept on improving. They kept on becoming better. You too will improve. Be consistent. Keep on learning. Keep on asking the questions. Stay away from negative people. Stay away from people with pull me down syndrome. I think we need to do pull me down syndrome as our next topic next week. And just as a reminder, I am starting a new series called Life on the Fourth Floor. I think I will have the first video out tomorrow. I will post every Friday because I want to share some wisdom nuggets that I have learned on the fourth floor. Before I transition to the fifth floor, I want to do, I'm even writing a stand-up comedy special called 49 because that's the age I am turning in September this year. And I'm like, you know what? I've been wanting to do life on the fourth floor. Let me sit down and shoot some videos and share with my kiddies and share with my young siblings on the net so that we can learn from each other. Do me a favor, leave me a comment. How do you stop yourself from experiencing imposter syndrome? Have you ever walked into a room and thought, I do not belong here? Have you ever received an achievement and felt maybe they made a mistake? Do you have people around you who keep telling you you are lucky, downplaying your achievements and just saying you are lucky? How do we heal from this? How do we move on from this? And what I love about this, it's not a racial thing. Obviously, for me, I speak from a Black woman's perspective, from a South African woman's perspective, a South African Black woman's perspective who grew up in a township, who grew up during apartheid. So my perspective is going to come from that. But even white people, rich people, so many people, I know billionaires who still don't feel like they belong in billionaire clubs. I know people who still get anxiety when they have to fly private or fly business because they have to look at their ticket like 4 or 5 times to make sure that they are not going to be told, actually, you are not supposed to turn left, you are supposed to turn right. So it happens to everyone. But how do we become better people? For those of you who are new, my name is Tenjiwe. I'm a stand-up comedian as well as a content creator, well, and many other things. But those are my main things that bring me to the internet. And thank you so much for clicking to join. Please don't forget to subscribe. Subscription is free, mahala. And let me leave you with this on this Career Thursday with breakfast show, Yantambama. There will always be somebody more experienced than you. There will always be somebody more qualified. There will always be somebody more beautiful. There will always be somebody funnier. There will always be somebody more confident. There will always be somebody who speaks better, who speaks more beautifully. There will always be somebody who commands more attention. There will always be somebody who dresses better. There will always be somebody who wears the same uniform as you, but it just looks better on them. There is always somebody with better talent, somebody who knows Excel formulas like it's witchcraft, like they grew up from the age of 2, their grandmother was already teaching them how to do Excel. But their ability does not cancel yours. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room to deserve your chair. You don't have to sit at the head of the table to belong in the room. It's not everyone who's going to sit at the head of the table. You were invited. You qualified. You earned the opportunity. And if there are things you do not know, you know what to do. Learn them. That's what careers are. We are all unfinished professionals. We are all learning every day. We all continue to learn. We all become better the more we do. Experience is what we need. Ask the questions, learn, be prepared, look like you belong, be professional in everything you do, be confident, but most importantly, never confuse imposter syndrome with incompetence. Just because you are incompetent does not mean you suffer from imposter syndrome. You are incompetent because you didn't learn it. You didn't ask the questions. You didn't prepare for it. You lied on your CV. You slept your way through. You slept your way up. When other kids were opening books, you were opening other things. That's not imposter syndrome. That's incompetence. That's making wrong choices. That's making wrong decisions. And stop telling people they are lucky. Stop telling yourself you are lucky. Stop replacing your hard work with being lucky. You worked hard. You deserve it. You belong. You deserve it. Yeah. We are all unfinished professionals. Thank you so much for joining. Once again, please do not forget to subscribe. Subscription is free, mahala. I do have 2 channels, one in English, one in Zulu, on both Facebook as well as YouTube. YouTube. So if you've only subscribed to one, please go and subscribe on the other one. Do not subscribe on my Zulu channel if you do not speak isiZulu, because the videos will confuse you unless you are willing to learn isiZulu. I do not put subtitles on my Zulu content because you cannot translate good isiZulu. You cannot translate Zulu jokes because Zulu is very poetic. More often than not, people who do watch my Zulu comedy will tell you it's usually how I say it rather than what I say. It's the play on words. If I were to translate it, it would make absolutely no sense to you. You will just be shocked. Why are people laughing? So that's why I don't put subtitles. Some people do. They do a different kind of comedy. My comedy is intelligent comedy, where we play with words. And the minute I try to translate it, it will be gone. It won't be comedy. You'll just be wondering, why are these people laughing? You'll be thinking these people who are laughing here need to be sectioned, because it is a play on words. It's a very poetic language. But I do have an English channel where I do comedy in English. I mainly post stand-up comedy on that channel, and I do sit-down videos as well. And as I said, I'm starting a new series, Live on the Fourth Floor. Please do watch it. I'm going to be so vulnerable. I've always been a publicly private person, but on Live on the Fourth Floor, you're going to learn to know me. You're going to learn to know me, the mistakes I've made. Yeah, you'll have to watch the show. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow it is Friday. No career development, no spreadsheets, no personal growth. We've grown enough today. Tomorrow it's Friday. We're going to be laughing tomorrow. We're going to be having fun tomorrow. And if you have enjoyed Career Thursday, please don't forget to subscribe for the breakfast show Yantambama, and share the program with somebody who walks into meetings looking confident while internally screaming. My name is Tenjiwe, and remember, it's breakfast somewhere in the world, and it is ntambama somewhere else. Do not forget to subscribe. Subscription is free. Mahala.
Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. Subscription is free. Mahala.